So you went to the hen house, you did, and you picked up 2 eggs. Hey, you're thinking, who, what you gonna do with these? Same old thing. Scramble them or make an omelet. Well, folks, I'm finna show you tips and tricks that will make these so light and fluffy, and you got so much great flavor. It's easy to do. You just gotta learn them. Come on, I'm finna show them to you. I got the eggs, y'all bring the fork. Y'all are thinking, scrambled eggs, huh? Well, remember the incredible edible egg? And guess what? Remember, I'm giving you 2 ways to do it. We're gonna soup up that there omelet, and we are gonna make the best scrambled eggs you ever seen in your life. Well, guess what? We're gonna do them in a cast iron skillet. Yep, you heard me right. A lot of you be trying to break out that piece of Teflon, or maybe some of that there copper something or another. That stuff ain't healthy for you to eat out of. We're talking about cast iron. I'm gonna give you the tips and the tricks as we go along and have that well-seasoned piece of cast iron. What? Yours ain't well-seasoned? Hey, we got a lot of stuff on that playlist that you can go back to and check all this stuff out. And you can get to our little guide there about how to take care of your cast iron. It's simple and easy, and it will turn out and perform for you every time you cook in it. 2 eggs, yeah, they ain't going in there yet. First of all, Duke's, he's right there. This is his mayonnaise. And folks, when you put it in there, I just want you to use a tablespoon full. Get it right in there, and look here. Heavy whipping cream. Remember I was telling you light and fluffy, float up in the clouds? This is part of it right here. But guess what? It just takes another tablespoon full. And I want you to take your mixer, whether it be electric or Armstrong, I want you to mix this really well to where there's no lumps, there's no nothing, it's just smooth as a whistle. So I'm going to tell you, this works for 2 eggs, 1 tablespoon and 1 tablespoon. You're going to double this up and do 4? Do 2 and 2. Just do the math and it'll always come out right. Now then, let's crack them little eggs and be oh so ginger on them store-bought eggs because they pretty thin shelled. So if you was doing this in the house, you'd have probably just cracked them right in the skillet. That is #1 thing wrong if you're going to get good, light, and fluffy scrambled eggs. You need to put them in here to where we can whisk them up, because what's that going to do? Give them air. We want them to be a little foamy. We want them to be creamy. Let's start the mixer again. And the fly just fell in there. So you can see there, I mean, you don't just whip them till they're like meringue, huh? But I want them all smooth, no lumps, no bumps, no contusions, and you'll see them little air bubbles pop in there. Well-seasoned piece of cast iron. I want you to add just a smidgen of oil. I'd say, just not very much at all. But then I want you to take about a tablespoon of butter, which is about that much, because you can't go wrong with butter, and that is some of that good Kerrygold. We're not just going to pour them eggs in there. We got to heat this oil till it begins to brown a little. Then we will pour our eggs in there and go to work. So I'll meet y'all at the fire. Well, here we are at the fire. Now you can see that butter's done begin to melting because it's 90-something degrees out here anyway. But I need you to roll it around the edges of that skillet. Why? Because I need it greased really well. Here comes the butter inspector right there. Slide it back over to the hot side of the fire. Now when that butter begins to brown just a little, then we'll go to work. It's beginning to sizzle there just a little. Now if you're doing this in the house, you can start this off on medium-low heat till all this begins to take place. Then I ask you to turn it to low. #1 thing that kills some fluffy light scrambled eggs, too much heat. I hope your cooking device is leveler than mine. But I mean, that is so pretty when it just pours right out of the pan there. Now, I don't want you to be thinking you're going to have to get in a great big hurry, because remember, we're on some low, medium heat we are. And guess what? We need to season it at this time. Give it a little sprinkling of some of that Red River Ranch Mesquite or Original, and that's all you'll need, folks. Now, as Shan zooms in here, you'll see that the edges of this have started to cook just a little. See it around through there? I don't want you to mess with it yet, but when that takes place, we need to slide it over here so gingerly to where it ain't quite so hot. Because remember, folks, that is a piece of cast iron, and it is holding that heat very well. #1 tool you might need for this device, a rubber spatula. It is very important that when we start this, I want you to start at the edge and just pull a little. So when you start doing that and you begin to see that simmer around the edge, I just want you to take that spatula, run her in there, and just go to folding. Now don't just tear it up and go to scrambling. I want you to fold. And just keep folding toward the middle, and we'll just keep laying it over. You can see that's beginning to set up, so just come back to the middle, keep folding over. Some of that good 5-star Michelin dining again. And remember, we didn't have to even air the tires up nor change them. We just got it right here in that skillet. Well, folks, you can see we done garnished a little there with green onion we did, but do not overcook these. You want to make sure that you leave lots of moisture in there because that's what we put in there. And they should just like slide right out of there, and they are. I mean, them's big old chunky, light things they are. Well, there you have it, folks. Light and fluffy and so moist. That mayonnaise and that whipped cream just brings it to the next level right there. And when you just don't cook it too long, it is so... Oh, hey. Was you needing like a bite? I'm sorry. Wait. No, you have to wait, okay? You're a good pup. You got good manners. People been saying you're such a great dog. But I heard you drug a Yeti ice chest across the kitchen floor and eat the dog food out of it. That's what I heard. Well, it is omelet time it is. So what do we got to do? We got to have us some vegetables and some meat to put in there with it. And hey, y'all seen me out there. I done throw them bell peppers right in them hot coals, but you fan them ashes off first, you do. Then you lay that good old seasoned certified Angus beef New York strip steak right directly on them coals. I hear some of you saying, oh my God, he's ruined a piece of meat. We cannot eat it. Check out the caveman steak video. There'll be a link right up there where you can watch it. Folks, you'd be surprised. I mean, this stuff is good. So we got our meat and our vegetables all got going on, and there was one jalapeno I snuck in there at the last. Now remember, well-seasoned cast iron skillet again. One more of them little tablespoons of butter, which is about that much. And guess what? One more time, we're gonna add just a tad bit of oil, not much, just a tad. Now this goes back to the fire just like we started a while ago. But then there's a little trick that even helps you out more before we start this process. But while that butter's just sitting there minding its own business, let's get 2 of these, what do you call them, Shan?
Crackleberries.
Hand fruit, that is right. Whoa, back in there. Remember I said crack on a surface that is hard. It did that. I just need you to whisk them up to where they are good and smooth. When you got them eggs whipped up to that consistency, I ask you to take about a tablespoon of cream.
Quiet on the set.
Hey, y'all too. Oh my gosh, easy. Let me get that cream in there and get it stirred up, and we'll meet you at the fire. Now I like to do these in batches unless I'm in a great big skillet, but I'm making this for Shan, so we're gonna take about yay much meat. Get you some of them peppers, got a little green onion mixed in there so you got you some good color. Now I need you to give this a stir in to where it's all mixed, and looky there, folks, that is some goodness going on in there. Now remember I told you there's a tip and a trick. That butter and that oil have got hot. Get back. Give this a swirl around the edges again. You move it out here to the cool side. If you're doing this in the house, you're still on about medium low heat. But guess what it is? Tablespoon of water. That's all it takes. Now when you put that in there and you hear that sizzle, I want you to immediately pour your omelet in there. Now, when you put water on something that's hot, Shan, what happens?
Steam.
Yes, and steam's going to help that rise and come to the top. And you don't want to rush this. You want it to cook oh so slow and easy, and you want to see it cook all the way around. In the house, y'all might be having a little more controlled heat than I am. I'm going to have to turn this right back around over here, and you can see how this is bubbling up on the edge. We want that bottom to set, folks, before we ever get ready to turn it. Now, if you get ready to turn it, and you're thinking, I might ought to put something else in there, you can add cheese, you can add mushrooms, you can add tomatoes, cantaloupe, watermelon, whatever you got, just chunk it in there, but make sure that you can fold it all over there. Folks, at this time, I'd ask you to season it, and I'd ask you to use some of this Red River Ranch, but see, we still got a little moisture in there. Just give it a swirl around, because we want that to cook off the top, but let's go ahead, give it a shake or 2 or 3 or 6, and then I want you to take your spatula, and I just want you to go around the edges. I want to make sure that they're loose. So when we get ready to go, it ought to just flip right over there. Now folks, I'm going to tell you right now for sure, I have had them flip and they tear all up, but it'll still eat. Well folks, it is a done deal. Right there at the last, I ask you to just take that spatula and mash it just a little to make sure that it's firm as you want it. These, you can cook them a little longer if you think they need to be that way, but hey, don't flip it no more. It is a done deal. Hey, I'm pretty hungry. Maybe what we do, chicken wobble. Chicken wobble. Woo, the chicken wobble is good. 2 easy ways to do the incredible edible egg, and they are some of my favorites. They are. Everything we use in the little recipe will be down there in the little description down there below to where it always is. And as always, I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and all the veterans who have kept that old flag flying over camp no matter where me and Shannon are at. And to all you first responders, all you firemen, policemen, and everybody in the world that's keeping us safe, I tip my hat to you. But guess what? We're going to do this again next week, and we hope y'all tune in because we're going to have a good time. And guess what? That's hot. I'll see y'all down the incredible 2 times the egg, 2 ways you can do it trail. Chicken's got teeth, you say? We better back up on that one. Crack them on something flat because the eggshell going to get in there. Whoa! Blooper! Okay, easy. No, wait. No! Get down. Get the set. Zoe's company quit. There's Zoe, there's a duker, and a the hard-workingest dog of all the breed. They enjoy some steak, they do.
Cackleberry, hen fruit, rooster bullet.
There we go. Look here.